This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All Star Vacation Homes, and if you've got a trip to Walt Disney World coming up and you need some extra space, but you don't want to pay a whole lot for it because you've looked at the prices for maybe a two-bedroom villa at one of the DVC resorts and say, "Ooh, that's expensive. I'm not made of money like Mr. Testa. I'm a man of means. I have to pay for my kids to go to school and pay for the groceries. Why not get a vacation home from All Star Vacation Homes and get all that space that your family needs and more, and a private pool, and a Donkey Kong machine, and a lot of other amenities for a fraction of the price of what that stuff would cost you to stay at Disney World? Give them a try. Visit them online at www.allstarvacationhomes.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday on November 21st, 2008, and this is episode 491 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hotchberg of StudioCentral.com. On today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, we're only 9 episodes from the big 500.
What's more scary is we're 9 episodes from Mouse Fest.
I
know, I'm not ready.
Yeah. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a blogger over at allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
What are you doing here? This is a combat zone. It's restricted.
What are you,
Tours.
What are you, pinching your nose?
I'm trying to do it like it's in the attraction.
How's it going, Matt?
All right, I want the show.
Okay, let's go.
Also joining us today is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide
Hi, Len.
to Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Hello. How's it going?
And also joining us today is Len's beloved twin sister, twin sister, Linda Sutton Testa. A researcher for Len from time to time.
That's the Sutton. It's the other way around.
Linda Sutton. There you go.
Yeah.
Just, can we clarify it's an unpaid researcher for Len?
What? You didn't get the check? Yeah, give it to Christina. Says it.
Welcome to the show, Linda.
Thank you.
Well, on today's show, we thought we would get to know one of our own podcasters, and we decided, well, let's get to know Mike Newell. But Newell, the idea
Harry had more sense than to come on the show.
Newell said he would not actually be on the show, and he would not record it nor distribute it, so we had to go with Len. So Len brought on Len. You really do. Linda is your twin sister.
Linda's my twin sister. She's 7 minutes older, and Linda and I are we're the ones who originally got the entire family hooked on Disney. We started going to Walt Disney World when we were small children with our parents and grandparents when they moved to Florida. And then as soon as we got our own cars and were able to drive, many is the time, we would leave work on Friday afternoon, drive all night to Walt Disney World, spend the weekend there, and drive back home to North Carolina. We've done that quite a few times. So Linda and I are the two big Disney fanatics in the family, along with Christina.
Now, Linda, in your opinion, this started out as a good idea. Hey, Len, let's get our parents to go to Disney World. Hey, that's a great idea, Linda. Let's do that. When did that go from that to, hey, Linda, I need you to start counting buses that leave the transportation center?
I don't know, but it went horribly wrong. Somewhere, I think, in my early 20s. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of crept up on us. And it didn't even come across as a go count buses. It's, hey, I'm working on this grad school thing, and you don't want me to starve one day and keep living off the family, so can you help me out?
So it was a threat more than anything else.
Yeah, you kind of get sucked in. Yeah, sounds like fun until he tells you, hey, your feet are gonna bleed, and
So this is funny. We actually taken it was right too. We'd actually taken Christina on the first data collection trip with one of her boyfriends, and it had gone. It was pretty painful. It hurt a lot. I mean, it was a lot of wear and tear. So we came back and told Linda, and Linda wanted to go. And I think she knew that she was into something that morning that we woke up at Pop Century, and I handed her own bottle of Aleve with her name written on it, which is pretty much an indicator of how your day is going to go when you wake up and somebody hands you a bottle of painkillers with your name written on it. You know things are just going to go downhill quick.
Yeah, but that was the day Len decided to experiment with Epcot.
So we'd only done, yeah.
That was Epcot. He's like, yeah, you can walk all of Epcot in an hour, in one day, for 18 hours.
What I had them do, and this is so we'd done the Magic Kingdom, and we had gotten the Magic Kingdom down to where 2 people could do the Magic Kingdom every 30 minutes. And I thought, well, 2 people can do Epcot every 30 minutes too, because we're still dividing the park in half. But that meant actually going from Spaceship Earth to the American Adventure and back in 30 minutes, which he really.
It was like a dead run for like 16 hours. And then the next day, Len's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Maybe we need 3 people there. So we ended up. So tell her about the next day at the Animal Kingdom.
The next day was the Animal Kingdom, which is not the most level terrain. And by that point, my feet were a bloody mess. And I was having to stop and put on Band-Aids and change socks. And it was hot and humid. And I called Len and was just miserable. I mean, my feet were just killing me. And he's like, oh, you'll be all right. Take some leave. And then the third day was MGM Studios. And people had this horrible habit of stopping short. And I had to go to first aid. And the guy at first aid was just baffled, like had no idea what I could possibly have been doing in the park to get my feet that bad. And I had to have Len meet me that night with a wheelchair at Epcot because I was not walking another foot. Not walking another foot.
A good times. Those were the days.
I got pedicures out of that for, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years, something like that.
You lost a toenail on that, right?
All. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, pretty much.
Good times.
Good times. All in the name of unpaid research.
Oh, you didn't get the check? I'm surprised. I've been sending them regularly to that bank in Panama.
Right.
Hey, Linda, it could be worse. You could have lost your eyebrows.
This is true. This is true. Girls
have
have
this habit of-
standards, right?
People have this habit of losing body parts when they work for the guide. That's so strange.
There's a pattern here.
Len, you want to
It's
share?
yourself. Don't do any research for Len.
Yeah, right.
If you want to know about the eyebrows thing, check out the WDW Today wiki for an explanation on the eyebrows joke. So, Linda, obviously you've been down. I know you've been down for a couple trips to help Len out. And tell us. I mean, for a lot of people, I think, for us, we get we get it. We like going down there, even though it can be painful at times. We do enjoy going down to Walt Disney World and, spending many hours in the parks, doing these kinds of research things. Are you just tolerant of it? Do you get it? Are you like okay with the idea, or are you just like, it's family and I do what I need to do and he'll get me back when I'm 90 and he has to empty my bedpan for me?
No, actually, I like doing it. I like the data element of it, but I like the idea of helping, kind of plan out a vacation for someone. So, the stuff that goes into the guide is stuff that makes, this, 2-year planning adventure of a Disney vacation better for someone. And, like Len said, this has been a family thing for us for so long. We have so many good memories of Disney World that, it means a lot to be able to do something for families that are going for the first time and, investing a ton of money and making a good vacation. So, we do it because we love Disney.
Absolutely. Now, it also helps.
Did you get a little tear in your eye after that?
Oh,
It was good.
And also, it helps now that Len brings his daughter Hannah, so that way, when it gets too much for you, you can just use the ruse. Oh, Hannah and I are going to go.
Yes, Hannah's bored. I must leave.
I think Chrissy did that a lot on this last trip. She's like, Hannah wants to go shopping in Japan. I'm like, really? She hasn't mentioned anything about shopping in. Oh, she does. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Having the kids to go now, it definitely makes it a lot easier because you can't get up at 4 a.m. to go wait. To be the first person in the park.
What's the oddest request Len has made of you in terms of park research?
There was the ride the bus all day. That was fun.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It was start at TTC and ride the buses and see how long it takes to go from A to B, and I had to and then you had to see how many people got on the bus, and you had to see how long they waited at any individual stop, and then you'd have to go back to TTC and get on another bus. Well, at one point I had been on the bus so long, the driver forgot I was there, and he went on his break. And
With Linda on the bus.
he totally goes off the beaten track, and I was like, wait a minute, where are we? And I had been sitting there reading or something the whole time, and data collecting, and he's like somewhere completely off of the normal tourist area, and when he realized I was there, he had to call in to get permission to take me back over to like Epcot or something where I had to wait for another bus. So that was fun.
Wow.
That was fun.
Times.
Absolutely. Now,
are you taking me to your lair?
I was like, hello, I'm still on the bus. And he's like, why didn't you get off the bus on the last stop? I said, because I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to go back to the TTC. And he said, well, I don't have to go back there. Anyway, he thought it was very strange.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
Len's just always been interested in research. Let's put it that way. So there are some stories with Len with doing some research on some things that he heard about. So something I happened to hear in college. I called Len one day, or he called me, and I said something about that the soda machines weren't working in the dorm, and apparently found out that if you poured salt water into the soda machines, they would short out, and all of the sodas would come out. And so would the change. And so I was telling Len, because we were aggravated because, it was affecting the dorm or whatever. And I called Len, telling Len the story. And I think 2 nights later, Len calls and says, did you know just the nickels come out? We're like, how do you know just the nickels come out, Len?
Guys talk secret things.
Isn't that nice? So, he had to research. Len's always been very dedicated to research.
So
Newell, hold on a second. Newell, meet me in 20 minutes with a case of salt, please.
So it's actually the case now, and I haven't tried this now for probably 20 years. It got to the point where I think soda vending machine manufacturers actually figured out how to get around this particular trick. Because not that I've done it in 2 decades, but the last time I checked, it didn't work. So I hear. Ask about our first trip with our grandparents.
Okay, Linda, what? Tell us about your first trip to Disney World with your grandparents.
So we were probably 7 or 8 years old, maybe, I don't know. And Len and I would spend summers with our grandparents who lived in South Florida, and they took us. Poppy and Grandma took us to Disney, and my grandmother hated heights, deathly afraid of heights. So anytime we went on anything even remotely high, she would have a fit. But the way she would get upset, she wouldn't yell or anything. She'd go, ooh, 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 don't do it. So we rode, what is it, Astro Orbiters? Yeah, it was hysterical.
Yes,
we rode Astro Orbiters, and I rode with my grandmother, and Len rode with my grandfather, and she wouldn't, how you push the joystick to go higher, you push the little, what do you call it, knob to go higher or lower, right?
Right.
She wouldn't let us go high at all. We had to kind of circle down at the bottom, which was, no fun.
What you want as a kid, as a 7-year-old.
Would not ride Space Mountain. Just knew that we were going to be hurled from Space Mountain, while we went on it with my grandfather.
Exactly. It was a Space Mountain of death at that point.
And I think she genuinely believed that when we went on 20,000 Leagues that we were 20,000 leagues under the water. She hated just the feeling of being under the water. So it was just pure anxiety for her, I think, the entire time we were there. But every time we rode a new ride, like Space Mountain, we rode with my grandfather, really for the most part. So I think for me, all my memories of that trip are, with Len and my grandfather on all these, big rides.
Remember going on the Skyway with them?
Oh my God. Grandma thought we were going to be hurled to the pavement in front of, It's a Small World.
She was making us keep our heads below the top of the Skyway sides so that there was absolutely no chance of us swinging it over or anything.
If it rocked, she would just scream.
Oh, yeah.
She hated it. In fact, I just recently found the park map from that trip that we had kept, and it was like the original park guide, and I think it was we can figure out what year it is, because I think it was a 10-year anniversary for the park, for Magic Kingdom.
What did you think of what did you think of the dip in the Pirates? Did that bother her?
I don't remember her going on that, and I don't know that she rode.
Or she probably wouldn't have gone on it, yeah.
Or, what, she might have and not known what to expect, but she screamed on everything. She hated the monorail. She did not like heights at all.
The monorail, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't like any of that. So.
Oh, going through the Contemporary? Oh, dear God! Like, remember when I talk about the Contemporary, I say that I have fond dreams of riding fond memories of riding the monorail through it. I forgot about Grandma screaming as she looked over the side.
She's like, "Don't touch the door! Don't touch the door!"
Wow! Imagine her on something like Everest or Terra. Wow!
No way.
No way.
So now, Linda, having been on trips for research and pleasure with Len, is it better or worse to go to these trips with Len, just you and Len, or better or worse with you, Len, and Christina, who we've had on the show before?
Oh, we always have fun with Chris and with Mike, with our other brother Mike. But no, we always have a blast when we're all together.
Okay.
So not that Len's not fun. We've had some great trips, just me and Len, but we always laugh a lot when it's with Christina.
And safety in numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
This is true. Yeah.
Very good.
Linda actually has a whole set of photos of I think the entire family, like posing in Adventureland in the same spot.
Oh yeah. Over time, so that you can actually see us age in the same spot.
Now,
Len with his there's a picture of Len with he was probably 16 years old with a mustache and short shorts and big hair.
Mustache.
It was very early 80s.
In the band.
How much do you want for this picture?
I knew this was a terrible
these
idea.
at the Mega Mouse meet. Wow.
This was a bad idea.
Yeah, I do have the photos.
Heliopolis, get on it immediately. So, Linda, I have one last question for you before we let you go here. Tell us the truth. Is Hannah more like Len, or please tell me she's more like Len's wife?
I have hope that with medication, she will be much more like Dawn as she gets older. There definitely are symptoms of Len.
Oh, no.
But she's young. She's impressionable.
Damn.
And I feel like my role is to be a good influence.
Very good. Well, hopefully you and Christina can save her from becoming the heir to Len's evil
I'm
empire.
still on the show. What are you saying?
Very good. Linda, thanks for coming on and sharing some funny stories.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Really.
Linda.
Thanks, guys.
And don't forget, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by the good folks at All-Star Vacation Homes. And if you're looking for a next trip to Walt Disney World and want to take it easy, have a nice, beautiful home to stay in, look at All-Star Vacation Homes for some wonderful options in terms of finding some great vacation homes with lots of amenities that'll be perfect for your family. Give them a try. Visit them at www.allstarvacationhomes.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. Really, you'd think this would be easy after almost 500 of them. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Linda Sutton, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio. This Sunday, it's the next Walt Disney World Today live call-in show. Get your questions answered fast by our panel of WDW experts. Tune in to Mouse World Radio at 8 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday night. You can also log into our chat room during the show at WDWToday.com. The next WDW Today live call-in show, sponsored by AllEars.net, 8 o'clock Eastern, this Sunday, only on Mouse World Radio.